Welcome. Masters are talking. Subscribe.
Welcome to your own personal deep dive.
Oh, nice.
So today we're going to be exploring excerpts from the Kybalion.
Oh,
And this is a text that is shrouded in mystery.
it is.
It claims to reveal ancient Hermetic philosophy,
Right.
but the authors are anonymous.
Yeah.
They just call themselves three initiates.
Three initiates.
Yeah.
Very mysterious.
So what do you think about that? What's your take on that?
It's fascinating, right? Because despite that mystery, the Kybalion has resonated with seekers for over a century.
I can see why.
Yeah. It's like a secret code almost,
Yeah.
just waiting to be deciphered
Yeah.
by those who are ready for its wisdom.
So where do we even begin
Right.
with a text that's like intentionally veiled like this?
Yeah.
What are we hoping to uncover in this deep dive?
Well, I think our mission here is to unlock the core principles of the Kybalion
Okay.
and see if they hold up in our modern world.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll leave you with something to ponder. Maybe even a new way of looking at reality itself.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's unveil some of these secrets.
Let's unveil them.
So what's at the heart of all of this?
Well, the heart of Hermetic philosophy
Yeah.
and the Kybalion is this.
Okay.
The all is mind, the universe is mental.
Whoa! Okay, so the universe isn't just made of stars and planets.
Right.
It's all thought.
Yeah.
Like my brain is part of the same stuff as a galaxy.
That's the core idea.
Okay.
Hermetic philosophy suggests that everything we perceive
Right.
as physical reality is actually a manifestation of something called the all,
Okay.
which is essentially an infinite
Okay.
universal mind.
That's a lot.
It is a huge concept.
So we're all swimming around in a giant cosmic mind.
In a way, yes.
Wow.
And the Kybalion suggests that this realization
Okay.
isn't meant to make us feel insignificant.
Right.
It's actually incredibly empowering.
Empowering how? Does that mean I can just like think my way into a winning lottery ticket?
Well, the Kybalion does talk about mental transmutation,
Yeah.
this idea that we can change the conditions of our lives by altering our mental states.
Right.
But it's not about wishful thinking.
Okay.
It's more about understanding and working with the
Mhm.
underlying principles of the universe.
Okay.
Like a programmer learning to write code.
So no magic lamp.
No magic lamp,
That's
but
it.
maybe a user's manual to reality.
Okay, I like that. That's much better.
Yeah,
So is that where the Kybalion's 7 Hermetic Principles come in?
exactly.
Okay.
They act as a framework for understanding how reality operates,
Mhm.
both on the physical and the mental levels.
Okay, 7 principles.
7.
Okay.
We've got some work to do.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Give me the rundown.
Okay.
What are they all about?
The first principle is mentalism,
Okay.
which we've already touched on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This is the foundation.
Okay.
The idea that everything originates from this universal mind,
Yeah.
this all.
So if we're all part of this one mind,
Yeah.
does that mean we're all interconnected? Like, are we all just different expressions of the same consciousness?
That's a deep question.
It is.
And one that many philosophies and spiritual traditions grapple with.
Right.
And the Kybalion definitely suggests a profound interconnectedness between everything in the
Okay.
universe.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Okay, what's the next principle?
All right, so the second principle is correspondence.
Okay.
And it's often phrased as above, so below, as below, so above.
So what does that actually mean?
It means that there are parallels between different planes of existence.
Okay.
What we observe in the physical world
Right.
reflects principles that are at work on higher,
Okay.
unseen levels,
Wow.
like the mental and spiritual realms.
So by studying the patterns of nature, we can gain insights into the workings of the mind,
Yeah,
even the spiritual realm.
precisely.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that the universe operates according to consistent laws
Right.
and principles.
Yeah.
Regardless of the scale or plane that we're observing.
That makes the universe feel less random and chaotic.
I like that.
A little less chaotic.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what about principle number 3?
All right, number 3 is vibration.
Okay.
The Kybalion states that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates.
Oh, wow. Isn't that basically what modern physics says too?
Yeah.
That everything is energy in a state of vibration?
It's remarkable
Yeah.
how the Kybalion, written over a century ago,
Yeah.
aligns with modern scientific understanding.
Right.
It recognized that everything from atoms to planets
Okay.
is in a constant state of motion and vibration.
So even something that seems solid is actually vibrating energy.
Exactly.
That shifts my whole perspective
It does.
on the physical
Yeah,
world.
that's good.
All right, what's principle number 4?
Okay, number 4 is polarity,
Okay.
which states that everything is dual, Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites.
So like light and dark, good and evil,
Yep.
love and hate. Yes, but the Kybalion goes a little bit deeper.
Okay.
It suggests that these seeming opposites are actually two extremes on a spectrum,
Okay.
differing only in degree.
Interesting.
They're two sides of the same coin,
Okay.
fundamentally connected.
So instead of seeing opposites as separate, it's more like they're different points on a scale.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really powerful.
Okay.
The Kybalion suggests that we can use mental transmutation to shift along these spectrums.
Okay.
For example, if we're feeling fear,
Right.
we can consciously cultivate its polar opposite,
Okay.
courage.
Oh, wow. I can already see how this could be useful
Yeah.
in overcoming personal challenges.
Right.
Instead of getting stuck in the negative emotions,
Yeah.
we can learn to shift our mental state to a more positive pole.
It's like bringing light into a dark room, right?
Yeah.
Darkness can't exist where there's light.
Exactly.
And this applies to all sorts of mental and emotional states.
Okay.
If you're feeling insecure, focus on building self-love. Right. If procrastination is your struggle, cultivate discipline and focus.
Okay, this feels incredibly practical.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how I can apply this in my own life.
Yeah.
What's next on the list?
All right. Principle number 5 is rhythm,
Okay.
which states that everything flows out and in, everything has its tides.
Like the cycles of nature, the
Yeah.
seasons,
Yeah.
the ebb and flow of the ocean.
Exactly. The Kybalion recognizes that everything from the cosmos to our own emotions
Right.
moves in cyclical patterns.
Okay.
There's always a rise and fall,
Yeah,
an expansion and contraction.
that makes sense. So how do we work with this principle? Does it mean we should just like accept whatever ups and downs life throws at us?
Well, it's not about passive acceptance.
Okay.
It's about understanding the natural rhythm of things
Okay.
and learning to navigate those cycles with awareness.
Okay.
When we understand that challenges are temporary and part of a larger cycle,
Right.
it can help us ride out the lows without getting swept away by them.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance between accepting the natural flow and then using our power to influence things.
Finding that balance.
Yeah. Okay, what about principle number 6?
Okay, number 6 is cause and effect,
Right.
which states that every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause.
So basically what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Every action has a consequence.
Yes, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
The Kybalion emphasizes that everything happens according to universal laws.
Okay.
That there's no such thing as pure chance.
Right.
By understanding these laws,
Okay.
we can become conscious causers in our own lives rather
Right.
than simply reacting to circumstances.
Instead of feeling like we're at the mercy of fate,
Yes.
we can learn to create the effects we want
Yeah,
by understanding the cause.
exactly.
Interesting. And what about the final principle?
Okay, the 7th principle is gender,
Ooh, okay.
which states gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles.
Hold on. We need to be careful here.
We do.
We're talking about the Hermetic concept of gender right,
Yes,
not biological sex.
not biological sex.
Okay, good.
The Kybalion makes a very clear distinction between the two.
Okay, that's helpful clarification.
Yeah.
So how do these masculine and feminine principles manifest in the universe?
Well, the Kybalion suggests that the masculine principle is associated with projection,
Good.
outward expression, and
Yeah.
willpower. The
Yeah.
feminine principle is associated with receptivity, inward generation,
Okay.
and creation.
So they're complementary forces working together to create.
Precisely.
Okay.
And they're present in everything,
Mm.
from the formation of galaxies to the growth of a tiny seed.
Wow.
The key is understanding their interplay
Yeah.
and how to work with these forces consciously.
I'm seeing how this principle connects back to the idea of mental transmutation.
Yeah.
If we understand these creative forces within ourselves,
Right.
we can learn to use them to shape our reality.
That's a great insight.
Okay. We've got a good overview of the 7 principles,
Yeah.
but I'm sensing there's more to the Kybalion.
There is.
Where do we go from here?
You're right. This is just the beginning.
Okay.
The Kybalion goes on to explore some really profound ideas
Okay.
about the nature of reality and our place within it.
Okay.
It even suggests that we're all on a journey of spiritual evolution,
Mhm.
constantly moving towards greater awareness and connection
Right.
with the source of creation.
A journey of spiritual evolution.
Yes.
Okay, now you've really got my attention. I'm ready to dive deeper.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's continue our exploration.
Okay, so last time we were exploring the 7 Hermetic Principles outlined in the Kybalion.
Right.
And now I'm like really curious to see how these principles actually play out in everyday life.
Yeah.
How do we bridge that gap between these kind of cosmic concepts
Right.
and our day-to-day reality?
That's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yeah.
The Kybalion doesn't just present abstract ideas.
It offers tools for practical application.
So how do we take these principles from like the theoretical to the tangible?
Okay, well, let's revisit the principle of mental transmutation for a moment.
Okay.
The Kybalion uses this really vivid analogy.
Okay.
It compares many of us to a squirrel running frantically on a treadmill.
Okay, I could picture that.
Lots of effort, but getting nowhere fast.
Right, lots of effort, yeah, but not really moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We get caught in these repetitive thought patterns and emotional states that lead to the same unsatisfying results.
So how do we jump off that mental treadmill?
That's where the principle of polarity comes in.
Okay.
Instead of fighting against an undesirable state,
Okay.
we can focus on cultivating its opposite.
So if I'm feeling anxious,
Yeah.
I shouldn't try to force myself to be calm.
Right. Trying to suppress an emotion often just amplifies it.
It does, yeah.
Instead, try consciously cultivating feelings of courage and confidence
Okay.
as you shift your mental polarity. Anxiety naturally starts to diminish.
That makes sense. It's like bringing light into a dark room.
Yeah,
Darkness can't exist where there's light.
exactly.
Right.
And this applies to all sorts of mental and emotional states.
Right.
If you're feeling insecure, focus on building self-love.
Right.
If procrastination is your struggle, cultivate discipline and focus.
Okay, this feels really good.
Yeah.
This feels very practical.
It is.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how I can apply this in my own life.
Yeah.
But what about when it comes to external circumstances?
Right.
Can we really change those just by changing our thoughts?
Well, it's not about denying the reality of those external challenges.
Okay.
The Kybalion acknowledges that we live within this framework of natural laws,
Right.
but it emphasizes that we have more agency than we often realize.
So how do we become causers instead of just being tossed around by life's effects?
By understanding and aligning ourselves with those higher laws.
Okay.
The Kybalion has a very powerful way of putting it. It says that those who ignore these laws fall bruised and bleeding over the natural laws.
Ouch.
It's a very vivid image.
Yeah.
It really drives home the point
It does.
that we're not meant to be passive victims
right.
of circumstance.
Yeah.
We're meant to learn how to work with these universal laws, not against them.
Right.
And the 7 principles are a guidebook to doing just that.
It's like that saying, knowledge is power.
Yeah,
The more we understand how things work, the more we can influence them.
exactly. It's not about pretending everything is perfect.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to influence things,
Okay.
even if it's not always immediate or obvious.
Okay, that's a helpful distinction.
Yeah.
It's not about denying reality.
Right.
It's about empowering ourselves within it.
Yes.
But I have to be honest, sometimes it feels like life is just happening to us. How do we reconcile that idea of a mental universe
Yeah.
with those experiences where we feel totally out of control?
That's where the principle of rhythm comes in.
Okay.
Remember, everything has its cycles, its ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
There will be times when we feel more in control
Okay.
and times when we feel like we're being swept along by circumstances.
So it's not about maintaining a constant state of control.
No, it's about understanding that natural rhythm of things
Okay.
and learning to navigate those cycles with grace and awareness.
So when things are tough, it doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong or that the principles aren't working.
Right.
It's just part of that natural flow.
Exactly. The key is not getting stuck in those downswings.
Right.
The Kybalion suggests that by understanding these cycles,
Mm-hmm.
we can actually use them to our advantage.
Like surfing.
Yeah.
You can't control the waves.
Right.
But you can learn to ride them.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
When you're in a challenging period,
Yeah.
recognizing it as a temporary downswing can help you ride out the wave
Okay.
and avoid getting pulled under.
That's such a helpful perspective shift.
It is.
So it's not about denying those negative emotions.
Yeah.
It's about understanding where they fit in the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remembering that we always have the power to choose
Right.
how we respond to those emotions.
Okay, so far we've talked about applying these principles to kind of influence our mental and emotional states.
Yeah.
But what about concrete results in the physical world?
Right.
How does that part work?
That's where mental transmutation and the law of cause and effect combine to create really powerful change.
Okay.
The Kybalion teaches that every thought, emotion, and mental state has its corresponding vibration.
Right, we talked about that earlier with the principle of vibration.
Yes, exactly. And these vibrations don't just stay inside us.
Right.
They radiate outward and interact with the vibrations of the universe around us.
So you're saying, like, my thoughts and feelings actually impact the world around me.
Yes, and the law of cause and effect ensures that those vibrations will eventually manifest. Okay.
As corresponding experiences in our lives.
So if I consistently focus on, like, positive thoughts and feelings.
You're more likely to attract positive experiences.
Okay.
Like attracts, like,
Right.
on a vibrational level.
But it's not just about thinking happy thoughts, right? It's about aligning, like, my entire being, my thoughts, emotions, actions, with these principles.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about cultivating that state of inner harmony, which then naturally ripples outward and shapes our reality.
This is starting to feel less like magic and
Yeah.
more like a powerful technology.
I like that way of putting it.
Yeah.
The Kybalion is like a user's manual
All right.
for the human mind,
Right.
showing us how to become the conscious creators of our lives.
I'm really grasping the depth and the interconnectedness of these principles.
Yeah,
It's not just about changing your thoughts.
Right.
It's about transforming your whole approach to life.
that's a great way to summarize it.
Yeah.
The Kybalion offers this path of self-mastery
Yeah.
that touches every area of our lives. This has been incredibly insightful. I'm already starting to see how I can apply these principles in my own life.
Good.
But I'm curious, what does the Kybalion say about the ultimate goal of all this?
Okay.
Where does this path of self-mastery ultimately lead?
That's a great question, and it's something that Kybalion addresses
Okay.
in a very fascinating way.
Right.
It talks about spiritual evolution,
Okay.
suggesting that we're all on this journey back to the source of creation.
So it's not just about improving our lives like here and now.
It's about something much grander.
Okay.
The Kybalion suggests that through mental transmutation and mastering these principles,
Right.
we can gradually raise our vibration
Okay.
and move closer to the divine.
Wow, that puts a whole new spin on the idea of self-improvement.
It does.
Yeah.
And this idea of spiritual evolution connects back to those core principles.
Okay.
All is in the all.
Right.
And the all is in all.
Right.
As we evolve, we become more aware of our connection to that divine source and to everything else in the universe.
This is definitely making me think about my place,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things.
It's big.
It's both humbling and incredibly exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the Kybalion.
Yeah.
It offers a perspective that expands our awareness
Mm-hmm.
while empowering us to take an active role in our own growth.
I'm eager to hear more about this idea of spiritual evolution.
Okay.
Where does this journey ultimately lead us?
That's an excellent question, and that's where we'll pick up
Okay.
in the final part of our deep dive.
So we've been unpacking some pretty profound ideas from the Kybalion,
We have.
especially this concept of spiritual evolution.
Right.
It's a huge idea, but
It is.
I'm ready to explore it further.
Okay, well, the Kybalion presents this journey
Okay.
not as some far-off mystical goal,
Right.
but as a natural process
Okay.
that's unfolding all the time.
So we're already evolving,
Yeah.
whether we're aware of it or not.
Exactly. The text uses the analogy of a grand cycle,
Okay.
where the universe goes through periods of involution and
Right.
evolution.
Kind of like breathing out and breathing in.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Yeah.
So during involution, the creative forces of the all pour outward,
Okay.
manifesting as the material universe.
Okay.
And then during evolution,
Mm-hmm.
everything begins to move back towards the source,
Okay.
evolving in complexity and consciousness.
So we're all part of this cosmic dance,
We are.
moving towards greater awareness and connection with the all.
Precisely.
Okay.
And the Kybalion suggests that we can consciously participate in this process
Okay.
by applying the 7 principles.
So by mastering our thoughts and emotions,
Yeah.
understanding the laws of the universe, we can actually accelerate our spiritual growth.
That's the idea.
Wow. Okay.
The Kybalion sees spiritual evolution as a journey of self-discovery, recognizing the divine spark within ourselves
Right.
and realizing our full potential.
That's inspiring. But what does that actually look like?
Yeah.
In practice?
Right.
How do we know if we're on the right track?
Well, the Kybalion doesn't lay out a rigid roadmap.
Okay.
It's more about cultivating a certain mindset,
Mhm.
a way of being in the world,
Okay.
aligned with those 7 principles.
So it's less about checking off boxes
Yeah,
and more about aligning our lives
Yeah.
with universal laws and principles.
exactly. As we do that, we
Mm-hmm.
naturally begin to experience greater peace,
Okay.
purpose and a sense of connection with something bigger than ourselves.
I love that vision of spiritual evolution.
Yeah.
Less about like achieving some external goal
Right.
and more about a deep inner transformation.
It's an ongoing process, not a destination.
Right.
The Kybalion emphasizes that it's a journey of small steps,
Okay.
each day becoming more mindful of our thoughts and
Cool.
actions
Yeah.
and striving for harmony.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Right.
And every step we take in alignment with these principles moves us closer to that state of greater awareness and connection.
This is making me think about those moments in my life when I've felt a sense of awe or deep peace or even just a fleeting feeling of oneness with everything. Is that what we're talking about?
Those moments might be glimpses of what the Kybalion points towards.
Okay.
It suggests that as we evolve spiritually, those experiences become more frequent and profound.
Okay, so we're evolving. We're taking those small steps.
Yeah.
We're experiencing these glimpses of something greater. But what about the end of the journey?
Right.
What happens when we finally merge back with the all?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The Kybalion suggests that at the end of the grand cycle, when the all withdraws its attention from the material universe, individual souls aren't annihilated, but are infinitely expanded.
So we retain our individuality, but also experience complete oneness.
That's the essence of it.
Wow.
The Kybalion describes it as a state of being at one with the all, a state of complete knowledge and understanding.
It's almost beyond our comprehension.
It is.
But I get a sense of peace just thinking about it.
But the Kybalion doesn't claim to have all the answers.
Right.
But it encourages us to explore these big questions and find our own meaning.
This entire deep dive into the Kybalion has been truly mind-expanding.
Good, I'm glad.
I'm walking away with a whole new perspective.
Yeah?
On reality and my place within it.
And remember, this deep dive was tailored specifically for you.
I like that.
Your questions, your curiosity guided our exploration.
That's what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal guide through this vast library of knowledge.
That's right.
Uncovering the wisdom that's most relevant to me.
We encourage you to continue exploring the Kybalion on your own.
Yes.
See what resonates with you. Experiment with these principles in your own life.
Because ultimately, the real magic happens.
It does.
When we put these ideas into practice.
Exactly.
The Kybalion isn't just a book to be read.
Right.
It's a philosophy to be lived.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive, we'll leave you with this thought from the Kybalion.
Okay.
If you would understand the mysteries of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, provided new insights, and perhaps even inspired you to continue your own journey of self-discovery.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us.
Eyes anoint you.